It usually starts with one simple question, but then that question opens 3 more, then 15, and suddenly it's 1:37 in the morning. Your coffee is ice cold, your eyes feel like sandpaper, and you're reading about something you didn't even know existed 4 hours ago. You've successfully gathered a massive amount of information. You have names, dates, obscure symbols, and documents. You've even found that one guy who wrote a 72-part thread tying it all together. But despite the massive volume of data, your heart still doesn't feel settled. Instead, a quiet, isolating shift happens inside. You begin looking at normal everyday life with a strange, cynical edge. You see people enjoying a simple day or a regular conversation, and you find yourself thinking, they have no idea. You start viewing neighbors as asleep, placing them beneath you because they don't know what you know.
This state of being awake feels like wisdom, but it produces a constant, jumpy anxiety. It's a pride that isolates you, making you feel higher than your neighbor while simultaneously making you more afraid of the world. We keep scrolling because we think information provides control. We believe if we can just map every lie, we will finally find the exit. Instead, the data piles up until it becomes a chaotic knot that leaves us spiritually drained. Think of this research as knowing the ledge. You stand at the edge of a deep vertical shaft, measuring how far down the darkness goes. We tell ourselves mapping this corruption will set us free, but as information grows, it becomes a weight. If your only hobby is measuring the abyss, you never actually leave the abyss. You remain at the ledge, chained to a state of constant suspicion. The exhaustion comes from a misunderstanding of what we are looking for. We search for truth as if it were a finished puzzle of hidden facts. We have mistaken the exhaustive documentation of evil for the actual discovery of truth. We go down these holes looking for a finish line, a definitive answer that finally lets us rest. But a pile of data is infinite. It never stops growing, and it can't provide a place for your soul to land. In John 14, Jesus offers that landing place when he says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." This redefines our search. Truth is a person with a voice and a name. He carries scars in his hands that prove the battle has already been won. When we spend all our energy staring down the ledge at the darkness, we lose our ability to see anything else. Our focus remains fixed on the pit rather than the light. Jesus spoke to this specific distraction in John 8, promising that those who follow him will not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. Connecting every dot of worldly corruption is an endless task that offers no exit. Freedom is found by abiding in the living word, where the search finally ends. Take a moment to look at the actual results of your research habits. If your information diet leaves you feeling bitter, paranoid, and unable to enjoy the simple gifts God has put in front of you, something is wrong. Compare your current state to the fruits of the Spirit listed in Galatians 5: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, and self-control. Ask yourself, is your late-night investigation making you a more loving and patient person, or is it just leaving you angry and isolated? Stepping back from the ledge doesn't mean turning your brain off. God doesn't ask us to pretend that evil doesn't exist or to be gullible. Ephesians 6 reminds us that spiritual warfare, deception, and corruption are real forces in this world. We are told to test all things, but the goal is to hold fast to what is good. The shift happens in how we handle the search. Because Christ has already disarmed the powers of darkness, we look at the world from a position of victory. We don't have to research out of fear. You can be sober and watchful without living in the pit. You can learn what is happening without forgetting who is reigning. The darkness wants your attention, but Jesus wants your heart. Real peace is found by lifting your eyes from the screen and fixing your gaze firmly on Him.